Welcome to Week 6 in the Blue Collar Football League. As we return back from the 4th of July break, we're in West Virginia as two teams face off who are looking for a win to keep themselves alive in the playoff hunt. The Capital City Mustangs are coming off back-to-back shutout losses to the Cincinnati Dukes and the Port City Spartans. Meanwhile, the Kentucky Cardinals are finally getting to play a game outside their division, having played 4 games already against the two Indiana teams, the Cutters and the Tornadoes. The Cardinals faced the 3rd and 15 on the opening drive of the game when Nick Elder went deep and found Chris Curry for this 43-yard pass down to the 26-yard line. Kentucky faced another 3rd down when Elder found Hayden Kenny this time for a 24-yard touchdown that put Kentucky ahead 6-0. The Mustangs own up their offense on their first play as Adams rolled out here before finding a deep pass. He found Alex Brower for a 34-yard gain down to the 36. But penalty to the sack pushed the Mustangs back, and then Anton Hamilton stepped in front of a pass at the 50-yard line and brought it back to the 31. But on the very next play, it was Adams now on defense. He picks off a pass and brings it back to the 28-yard line. And after one quarter, the Mustangs were down 6-0. Early in the second quarter, the Cardinals brought down Adams for back-to-back sacks. First, this one by Damon Dorsey, and then another one by Demetrius Booth, and the Mustangs were forced to punt. But Capital City's defense answered. Jaquia Haley brought down Elder for a 10-yard loss. And then when the Cardinals tried a screen pass, the ball was tipped and intercepted, giving possession back to the Mustangs in Cardinals territory. The Mustangs were able to advance down to the 28, but this time was the Cardinals with the tip and the interception as Deton Talbot picked it off, ending the Capital City threat. Late in the first half, the Cardinals were forced to punt deep in their own territory, and Chris Curry was just able to handle this bad snap and get off a pass to Anton Hamilton, avoiding a safety, but still the Mustangs took over at the Cardinals' 8-yard line. Time ran out before the Mustangs could take advantage, however, and at halftime the Cardinals still led 6-0. After the Mustangs were forced to punt to open the third quarter, Rashawn Ragland finally got his first carry of the game and burst through the Mustangs defense on his way to a 42-yard touchdown, putting Kentucky ahead 12-0. When Kentucky got the ball back, they again turned to Ragland, who this time went around the left end, finding his way for a 19-yard gain before finally being brought down in Capital City territory. In the fourth quarter, Elder rolled out before finding Curry for a 19-yard pickup that brought the Cardinals to the 20-yard line. And Elder capped off the drive, finding his way into the end zone for a 6-yard touchdown that put the Cardinals in control, leading 18-0. It looked like Kentucky might get a chance to add to its lead when, after a bad snap, the Cardinals recovered a fumble at the Mustangs' 28-yard line. But on the next play, the ball came loose again, and this time was the Mustangs there to fall on it for the recovery. The Cardinals did get the ball back one last time. This time they took advantage. Elder hit Kenny for a 41-yard touchdown as he eased his way into the end zone. The 2-point conversion followed was good this time, and that made the final score Cardinals 26, Mustangs 0. The Cardinals broke through for the victory by scoring on 3 of their 4 possessions in the second half. Rashawn Ragland had both his carries in the second half, picking up 61 yards, including the 42-yard touchdown run. Nick Elder completed 7 of 11 passes for 129 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Hayden Kenny had 5 catches for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Chris Curry had 2 catches for 62 yards. Curry also had 2 tackles on defense and a pass breakup. Damon Dorsey led the Cardinals defense with 6 tackles, including 2 for a loss and 1 sack. For the Mustangs, Keith Adams threw for 34 yards, ran for 8, and on defense had an interception. Jay Palmer led the Mustangs defense with 5 tackles, including 1 for loss, as the Mustangs also forced 3 turnovers in the game. Meanwhile, in Lancaster, the Indiana Cutters and Columbus Gladiators met in a rematch of the game. The Gladiators won 38-36 by stopping a 2-point conversion with under 2 minutes remaining. The Cutters' opening drive of the game was cut short when this pass was intercepted by the Gladiators and brought back all the way to the Indiana 13-yard line. On the next play, Michael Haynes worked his way through and around the Cutters' defense for a touchdown, giving Columbus the early 6-0 lead. Indiana immediately answered. First, Terrell Williams went around the end for a 20-yard pickup down to the Gladiators' 48. And 2 plays later, Kenny Martin found a wide-open Isaiah Moore for a 48-yard touchdown, making the score 6-6. The Cutters moved ahead 13-6 before the end of the first quarter when Noah Ponce plunged his way in from 2 yards out. Columbus moved back ahead early in the second quarter when Clive Wofford intercepted this pass, found an easy path 51 yards for a touchdown with the 2-point conversion, putting the Gladiators ahead 14-13. Columbus got the ball back, and a 5-yard touchdown run by Michael Haynes extended the lead to 20-13. But just before halftime, Trey Atkins converted a 42-yard field goal and cut the Gladiators' lead to 20-16 at the break. Columbus opened the second half with a 12-play drive that culminated with this 6-yard touchdown from Ben Kershaw to Amata Love. But Indiana was able to answer with another Atkins field goal, this one from 21 yards, to make it 26-19 after 3 quarters. Columbus pulled away in the fourth quarter behind 2 long touchdowns from Kershaw. First, he was able to scramble and roll out long enough to buy time before firing a 50-yard touchdown. And then he hit James Benvenuti in stride for a 66-yard score that enabled the Gladiators to pull out the 40-19 win against Indiana. Reviewing all the scores for the week, the Cardinals picked up the 26-0 win over the Mustangs, and the Gladiators finished off a sweep of the Cutters, winning 40-19. The Blaze also remained undefeated, beating the Tornadoes 27-6. With the Warriors unable to make the trip this week, the Buccaneers did pick up a forfeit win, and the Dukes also picked up a win against the Huskies. The Spartans were off. Checking out the week ahead, the Gladiators will travel to face the Spartans in a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Championship game. The Buccaneers will travel to face the Tornadoes in a rematch of the game Sin City won 7-2. Meanwhile, the undefeated Blaze will go on the road to face the other Indiana team, the Cutters. Capital City will be on the road to face the Cincinnati Dukes. The Cardinals will pick up a win against the Huskies, and the Warriors are off this week. And with the standings in a bit of flux, we'll move on to the owners' poll this week, which has remained relatively steady. As has been the case all season, the Gladiators are number 1. The Blaze and the Dukes swapped spots in the last poll and remain there this week, with the Blaze now at 2 and the Dukes at 4. The Buccaneers have remained at 3 and the Spartans at 5. The Cardinals were the only team to move up this week. They went from 8 to 6. That meant the Tornadoes, who had moved from 7 to 6, moved back down to 7 this week, and the Cutters have dropped 1 spot each of the past 2 polls, going from 6 to 7, and they now sit at 8th. The Warriors have remained at 9, and the Mustangs are still 10.